Hey friend, welcome to Healthy with Heather Brown. If you don't know where to start with balancing being healthy and loving the life you already have, I got you, friend. And yes, of course, we're still going to enjoy some Chick-fil-A. I'm here to come alongside you and encourage you to fall more in love with your creator, your spouse, your kids, and your own health journey. We'll talk about how to let your good things grow until they become daily habits, with the occasional dad joke and point of view from my Yankee hubby, Eric. Don't stress. Let's hop on this Hot Mess Express together. So join me, Heather Brown, as we unpack what it looks like to live a life well loved. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. I'm so excited today to talk with you a little bit about my guilty pleasures because guess what? Whenever you start a new diet is the first thing that you think about. Oh my gosh, what can I cram in to feel good and to make myself enjoy this food one more time? So after I had Finn, he is actually the day that this podcast launches, Finn is turning 4. So woo! So I've been doing fast-forwarded fat loss now, which I'll talk about with our guest today for almost 4 years. And I remember I got the email from a coach and she asked me if I wanted to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm breastfeeding. And when you're breastfeeding, you're like starving all the time, like waking up to feed at 3 a.m. And you're like, oh, maybe I'll just grab a cookie real quick, give myself a little energy. And she asked me if I wanted to try fast-forwarded fat loss. And I was like, ugh, I guess I do want to get this baby weight off. And that is a good option. But I remember being like, okay, it starts on Monday. So Friday through Sunday, I was like, I'm going to hit up Taco Bell and I'm going to get my crunchy taco and I'm going to go to Starbucks and get my white chocolate, vanilla, mocha, whatever. That's all the calories. Get my Chick-fil-A fries. Like I literally ate myself almost sick, just trying to feel all these calories and things that I knew fast-forwarded fat loss was going to take away from me. Praise the Lord. Actually, fast-forwarded fat loss is kind of a godsend because you do get to enjoy treats, which it's like, what? Can you believe this? So I asked my new friend, Nicki Entenmann, to join me today on the show. She is a top fast-forwarded fat loss coach. And if you don't know what fast-forwarded fat loss is, don't worry. We're going to share that with you today. And I know you'll enjoy getting to know her and see her content as much as I do. So Nicki, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. So excited to have you here. Nicki and I both actually just got back from trips. So I just got back from Cabo not long ago, and Nicki just got back. She was telling me from Montana, which sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was incredible. That's where I'm originally from, born and raised. So we went and saw family up there. Yeah, for the 4th. It was amazing.
So much fun. So
Yeah.
Nicki, will you tell us just a little bit more about you and about fast-forwarded fat loss so people can know who you are, if you're a mom, all the things?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am Nicki. I am a wife. I'm a mom to 3 babies under 6. My oldest actually just turned 6 a couple weeks ago. We live in the suburbs of Denver, Colorado. I am a lover of wine and sarcasm, and very similar to you, uniting women through motherhood and food freedom. So I am the top faster way to fat loss coach. So I teach women how to eat for their bodies, and for me particular, how to heal trauma from years of yo-yo dieting, getting results all while having a really good time.
Hey, that sounds amazing. And first of all, are you into hockey? Did you watch the Avalanche?
Well, you know what? I'm not from a state that had hockey growing up, but yes, all of a sudden we became diehard.
I love it. Those bandwagon fans. But hey, that's a good life right there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was such an incredible win for the city for sure.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Well, Nicki, I love what you just said about food freedom. I actually have not heard that term before, but I feel like that speaks so much to fast-forwarded fat loss and what it provides. So for our listeners that are like, what the heck is fast-forwarded fat loss? Like, how did you first find fast-forwarded fat loss and what all is involved in it?
Yeah. So to recap what the Faster Way is, so Faster Way to Fat Loss is the #1 digital wellness and nutrition program in the country. So how I always like to do it and talk about it is very toddler based is how I like to describe it. So the program is based around whole food nutrition, which is talking about what to eat, intermittent fasting, which is when to eat, and carb cycling, which is how to eat. So we take all of this simultaneously, teaching women how to get healthy and happy and the results, like you said, without any deprivation, still being able to have some Chick-fil-A.
Heck yes. All about that Chick-fil-A life.
All about that Chick-fil-A life. So I found the faster way in September of 2018. I had just had my second baby and I had hit rock bottom. I was exhausted. I was overwhelmed. I was embarrassed and wanting to lose weight and having this body dysmorphia consumed my life. Like I chose to miss out on memories with my kids because I didn't want to be in a bathing suit. I was missing intimacy with my husband because I didn't feel confident in my skin. And I was longing to find the happiness truly that I always wanted. And it was for the first time I ever wanted to do it for myself, but also my kids and getting healthy. So I saw a friend on social media who had done the faster way and she looked incredible. I would guess she probably lost 20 pounds, so much more confident. But as I read her post, she didn't once talk about her weight loss. She only discussed about her internal transformation, how she felt, how she slept, how she now had the energy to chase after her babies that she hadn't had years. And that is something that I craved. I wanted to be who she was becoming, that happy and healthy version. So I signed up for a round thinking it was going to be like every other program I had ever done. But I'm sure you and I can attest to it. Like I was so wrong. And the faster way has changed every capacity of my life by choosing myself, making time for myself. And now I have such an incredible opportunity to teach other women those skills.
Oh my gosh, Nicki, that is so crazy because I feel like so much of your story does mirror mine. And even the fact that after your second in September 2018, I started in 2019, right after I had Finn. So that's really cool to even get to connect in that way, first of all. And then second of all, I just feel like so much of what you're saying, women are going to be like, yeah, that's me. Like, how do I feel healthy and happy from the inside out? And I think that is one thing that I really enjoy about Fast Food to Fat Loss is that they teach you the phrase that I hear all the time, and it is memories over macros. Nicki, I know that like you actually, I've actually written down your recipe for a healthy margarita. So why don't you share with our audience like some of the things that you feel like you really enjoy and what does it look like to include those treats in your day-to-day life? And I know that some people are going to be like, okay, she mentioned like when to eat, how to eat. Will you give them like a quick glimpse of what is intermittent fasting? Just like in a blip, maybe.
Yeah. So intermittent fasting is an eating schedule. So it cycles between fasting and eating. So this improves insulin sensitivity and your body adjusting to hormone levels to have better access to the stored fat on your body. But it also gives your body digestive rest and actually cleaning out and healing cell repair. So there's a lot more that goes into it. A lot of people hear starving and I'm like, hey, we're not going to eat until 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. if that's the window that you choose. We like to have a 16 to 8 protocol is what we usually shoot for, meaning you fast for 16 hours and you eat for 8 hours. I always recommend having people choose a window that works best for you. That typically is around, let's say, noon to 8 is a pretty common eating window. And people are like, you are crazy if you think I am going to wait until noon to eat. And when you first start, and you can probably attest to this, and so can I was hungry. I'm like, this is insane. But then I realized I've never been eating enough for my body. I have always been in a super low cal depriving type of yo-yo dieting phase whether low carb or a juice cleanse or whatever the fad was at the time. That's something that I was always focused on. And I always ended up binging in that capacity because I was cutting out things that I loved. I wasn't going out, like I said, making memories and being able to enjoy food, which turned into this vicious cycle of cutting calories, working out 2 times as much during the week to try to reset what I did over the weekend. And then I would binge and it'd be in this vicious cycle. Having the faster way and being like, we don't weigh in because I don't care how much you weigh. I want to make sure that how are your clothes fitting? What is your sleep like? How's your energy? I'm like, wow, this is insane that we're talking about these things. How is your relationship with food? That was a big one for me. Like I said, being almost 2 decades into the yo-yo dieting cycle, that being like, have a glass of wine, have some chips, go to Chick-fil-A. Like those things are important because those are what make it a true lifestyle. I am never going to be 100% perfect. So having that 80-20 rule of let's eat whole food nutrition, but let's also not deprive ourselves. As soon as I started doing that within the Faster Way community is when I completely stopped binging because nothing was restricted.
I'm like, snaps for that. Like, can I get an amen? And actually, Nicki, I also like really freaked out about intermittent fasting in the beginning because I remember just being like, wait, so I work out in the morning, but I'm breastfeeding. Like, how does that work? And then I learned all the science behind like fasted workouts. There's this whole rabbit hole you can go down. Like, the benefits of intermittent fasting are truly astounding. Like, it literally has changed my life. Like, I cannot say enough good things about it. The research is insane, mind blowing. And in fact, if I did a 30-day intermittent fasting challenge with my audience a few years back. And so I'm going to link that in the show notes for y'all. It's mylifeallove.com/fasting challenge. And I broke down for 4 weeks, like all the ways that I eased into it and what it looked like. And I know, Nicki, you give lots of tips on that every day on your Instagram stories. So y'all have to make sure and go follow her over there. But you did mention Chick-fil-A and we've talked about wine. So will you tell us some of your favorite like cheat meals, or what is your go-to drink, or what do you get at Chick-fil-A?
I'm a salty girl. So most of my treats will be fries and salsa. I really love me some salt, but I also love me a good margarita, but I don't love all the sugar that typically comes along with it. I don't like sweet drinks anymore. Since joining the faster way, like having a Diet Coke, I can feel the fake sugar going through my teeth, and same with alcohol. So I really focus on things the alcohol is what we call the fourth macro.
Love it.
Something that you have to keep in mind. I love me some Blanco tequila. Casamigos is my favorite, with Topo Chico, plain Topo Chico, and then a splash of margarita mix and some limes. I usually like a full lime in a drink, and it's like a little bit of tart with a touch of sweet. It's delicious. So yeah, if I pick anything for my treats, it's usually going to be a glass of wine, a margarita, or some fries. I love salt.
Oh my gosh, fries. What are your favorite fries? Are they Chick-fil-A?
You know what? I do like Chick-fil-A. I get a little burnt out on them occasionally because my kids love it way more than I do. I also am like a sucker for some Arby's curly fries. Do you guys have Arby's in the South?
Yes, we do. And I love the curly fries and the potato cakes. Either one. Happy girl.
Yes. Yeah. Either one is great. Like some people, like, I've never heard of Arby's. Like that's just like tried and true of what I grew up with for fast food. So I'm a sucker for some curly fries too.
Same here. And I'll be honest, I know this is dirty, but it's sometimes you just want it. The McDonald's salty as can be French fries. Those are my like end all be all. Like you can't beat it to me.
I love McDonald's fries. I love one of their Diet Cokes on occasion too.
Yes.
So good.
Oh, Nicki, now that you say that. So when I first found out that I was pregnant with my second, it was like I was early on in pregnancy and my first like for real craving hit. And it was right before Christmas and we were like up late, like wrapping gifts and baking, cooking, doing all the things. And I remember being like, Eric, I need you to stop. I need you to drive to McDonald's. I don't know if I want a fountain Diet Coke or if I want a fountain Diet Dr. Pepper. So I need both and some French fries, and don't come home until you have all of them in hand.
It's a good man right there. That is truly like, that was me when I was pregnant too. I loved salt and bacon and like breakfast sandwiches, which I don't eat breakfast sandwiches ever.
Hilarious.
And I craved it. Yeah. And some Taco Bell. I was a sucker for some Taco Bell. Sounds like we're on the same page.
It really does. I know I used to be a huge sweets person pre-fast food and fat loss. I mean, growing up in the South, like literally my mama served sweet tea every meal. And that was just what you did. You had dessert after every meal. And so it's been really cool. I actually did a 30-day sugar detox. And then also with the fast food and fat loss, I just feel like it's been I keep saying this and I'm like, but I really mean it's life changing. If you have not done fast food and fat loss yet, I can't recommend it enough because it does just train you that you can still have these good things just in moderation, and you find a way to make it work with your body. And it's just so fulfilling to know what you're putting in your body and how it's going to make you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I always say is once you go through the program, you can never unlearn those things. Yeah. Once you have the knowledge and you just are aware of the types of food that you're putting in your body and how good exercise makes you feel and how the scale can be a liar sometimes, like being able to learn those things and the why behind what we're doing, those are things that you can pass down to your kids and generations to come. And that to me is an investment that is extremely invaluable.
And I just want to say right now, and Nikki, you might be able to attest to this as well, but I actually weigh probably the most that I've ever weighed in my entire life right now, other than being pregnant, obviously. But my muscle and my body fat percentage and the way that my clothes fit is probably the best it's ever been in my entire life. So I cannot tell you enough. If you're relying only on the scale and you're like getting in your head about these numbers, like, please throw it out, because your self-worth and you are worth so much more than that. And we'd way rather you weigh a number you're uncomfortable with and feel great. It's just a game changer mentally as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I am a big proponent of taking pictures and measurements, because it is critical when you are looking at the end of the 6-week program or even a year from now. Like you were saying, my body composition has completely changed, but I weigh probably the same or maybe more. But my muscle density and my muscle mass is so much that it has completely changed every aspect when it comes to how I view the scale. I don't even step on the scale ever anymore.
Yeah. I only do when I'm at Burn Boot Camp and they do your like BMI and you step on the scale, and also it measures your body fat percentage, but I never step on the scale at home anymore. I just don't.
Yeah.
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 Okay. So I'm going to change subjects a little bit, because Nikki, you were talking about this briefly earlier, but I saw on your website that you had 2 babies 13 months apart. Dang, girl. First of all, that's a real accomplishment right there.
First of all, it was a really big surprise. Breastfeeding is not birth control, everybody. Okay. That was a huge surprise. Yeah. Facts. Yeah. My daughter was 4 months old when we found out that we were pregnant with our second. My period hadn't even come back yet. Like, it was insane to me. And my dad's a twin and my husband's dad is a twin. So we were convinced that we were going to have basically 3 kids under a year, which ended up not happening. It was just 1, but yes, it was a lot. They're great. They're best friends now. But when they were little, we were just missed like mile marks together. So I would have preferred them be twins, because Irish twins was a lot. It was just
you did it the hard way.
Yeah, so that's why it took us a while to have a third, because I didn't come out of the baby cloud for a really long time. Yeah.
No doubt. So will you just talk a little bit then, Nikki, about what was postpartum like for you after 1, 2, and 3? I would love to just hear. I know that you've mentioned some on your Instagram stories and stuff, like maybe that you've struggled with some of the postpartum hormones or things like that afterwards. And that's obviously near and dear to my heart. I struggle with that as well. So I'd love to talk through that for our audience as well.
Yeah. So after my first, and maybe it's because I just wasn't aware, but postpartum was really hard for me. The newborn days were really challenging. I had pretty bad postpartum anxiety with my daughter. I was extremely overwhelmed, truly exhausted, but I also resented my husband for being able to go to work. I was like, did we make the right choice? Is this what we were supposed to be doing? I loved my daughter so much, but for our lifestyle, we were one of the first people to have kids. So I had this FOMO of all my friends continuing to live their life without children. So it took me a while to come out of that. And now I talk about it all the time because I just wasn't aware. I thought it was normal to be feeling this way. And it truly had postpartum anxiety. So coming out of that cloud, talking through it.
Will you kind of share a little bit, just so people know, what are postpartum anxiety symptoms to look for? Because what you just said, where you were like, I just thought that was normal. That's what I thought too about postpartum depression. So I'd love for people to have that knowledge.
Yeah. With postpartum anxiety is very similar to postpartum depression, but with an extra level of being anxious and having a lot of resentment around, and wondering if it was I would never call it was never a mistake, but wondering if this is the life that I was supposed to be living. Maybe we should waited longer. So I just had anxiety day in and day out, wondering not only the anxiety of a newborn mom was like, is my baby breathing? Why is she crying? What is happening? Your first kid, you have no idea. So I had that anxiousness. And then pairing it with the anxiousness of not having my husband be there to help me all the time when he was going to try to support, he was supporting the family. He was going to work. It's not like he wasn't doing anything. The anxiousness of worrying about other people holding her or watching her, that was really hard for me. And it took me a while to get out of that. And then ended up getting pregnant shortly after, which added a whole new element.
Just compounding.
Yeah, just kept, but in some capacity, almost getting pregnant calmed me down a little bit. I had something else and somebody else to focus on, where I wasn't consumed by every single thought and emotion. My second postpartum, I actually did pretty well mentally and emotionally, but physically, I did not quote unquote bounce back like I was expecting.
Can we just eliminate that from our
I know.
human
So
vernacular? Get rid of it.
yeah,
No bounce
get
back
rid of
after
it.
baby.
No, yeah, exactly. I was mostly so consumed with how I looked that I feel like I was missing out on memories and doing things with my kids because I have a squishy belly now and I haven't lost my baby weight. And I was so consumed with looking a certain way instead of feeling a certain way. And that's when I actually found the faster way. So my third pregnancy, I did the faster way to fat loss. Through my third pregnancy, I've never felt better. I think I honestly gained the most weight out of all three with my third.
I
But
love it.
yeah, I'm like, it didn't matter because I was fueling my body with the right things. Yes, you're pregnant, you're going to have those cravings. But for the most part, I did crave eating whole foods and smoothies and potatoes and really rich meat, hydrating. Like I felt amazing postpartum with him and even continuing. So he is like third baby problems. How old is he? 20 months. He's a year and a half. My anxiety with him actually started later. I would say even when he was like a year, where I feel like I'm missing out on things with my kids because I'm trying to pursue a career and I'm trying to have this identity of being something other than a mom, which I love, but it's not my only role. So now I'm fighting this. I think what a lot of moms go through is, are you making the right choice? Are you raising them the right way? Are you spending enough time with them? It's hard to split myself equally with the free time that I do have. So I think every mom feels like a little bit of guilt, but that's what my postpartum experience has been. I felt great, but I didn't never bounce back. I probably am like you said, I've weighed the most I've ever weighed. I'm a little squishier than I've ever been, but I've also never been happier with how I look at myself and how confident I am. So just trying to navigate what that looks like has been a little bit of a challenge, but we're doing it.
Yeah, that's awesome. I have to ask you, do you know your Enneagram number?
I am a 3.
Me too. I knew it.
I am a 3, like true and true, like so competitive, like always want to be on top with whatever it is. I don't care if
Well,
it's
that's why you're the top
monopoly.
professional fat loss. Look at you go.
Yeah. And I think that, but I also think sometimes that clouds like, what putting life into perspective. Is this what it's all about? Or is it okay to jump back into the career aspect if you're having a really good balance? So I'm navigating that. That's like my biggest focus for this year is trying to find that balance between working mom and stay at home mom.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that you and I, and probably a lot of the women listening to this can relate to that because there's so many people that are now working from home. And that's just part of what life looks like now for people, either in blogging or coaching or whatever the case may be. And it is such a struggle. So I like definitely relate to the mom guilt of that. And Nicki, this is so random, but there is this little, I think it's called like a 5-minute mom journal that I got on Amazon. And I am obsessed with it because it's for 5 years. And every day for 5 years, there's only 2 lines you can write on. But I write down when I like have a big moment with the boys and I want to remember something that I'm grateful for about that day, or Leighton lost his first tooth today, or whatever it is. And it sounds so silly, but it's like a good way for me to be like, I want to stop and reflect on this moment in motherhood. It makes me like stop and be present in what I enjoyed about that. Even if I recorded a podcast episode that day or did all the other online things. And then it like reminds me to like sit down, be still and pray and thank the Lord for whatever it is that he blessed me with in that moment. And it's just been, as a 3 and someone that's so driven and forcing me to stop and be present is just needed sometimes.
I just wrote that down. No, I want that. And also, I don't know about you, but I still have baby brain. I'm like, how long can I use this? Like 18 years? Can I use baby brain? But I sometimes forget in that moment, you don't realize it's a memory until it's gone. And I'm like, I would remember more details about that. So writing them down, I think is incredible. I wrote that down.
I'll send you my affiliate link. Don't worry. Yeah, exactly. And actually, I don't know if your husband is this way, but my husband's a 5 on the Enneagram. And if someone's not familiar with the Enneagram, I'll link my whole blog post about it. But it's a personality quiz and test essentially. And it kind of shows you your strengths and your weaknesses. Eric's a 5 on the Enneagram. And so he has a mind like a steel trap. So I'm always like, Eric, don't let me forget that I need to write down this week in June, this happened, because I'm like, he'll remember even if I don't.
Yeah, he'll remember everything. I think Ty is an 8, which usually 8s and 3s like kind of butt heads.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know if it should work. Don't put us in front of a board game together or it will be like, to the death. I'm like, no, we can't be on opposite teams or like Monopoly or Candyland. I don't care what it is. It's like flip over competitive.
Oh,
but
in the beginning of our marriage, Nicki, we literally made a rule where we could not play games. Like we had a year where we were like, we have to get it together, figure out how to like have a decent discussion in front of our friends when we're playing a game.
That is us. We have just learned how we communicate. I think that's a really big thing too. Like it took us a while to figure out what our love language is, what works for us as far as like communicating. And as soon as we got that down, we're like, okay, we are both hard-headed. We are both like driven, but we also can soften where he's better at it than I am. I'm not very good at apologizing. I'm always like, we have some stuff we can work on. He's say sorry.
Yep.
Like, okay. All right.
That's true. For sure. Are you freaking out that it's back to school season like me? Holy smokes. It always comes with so many things that it feels like a part-time job. Not to mention, now you have to figure out what to feed your kids for breakfast, lunch on the go, and dinner. If you're on a budget and you really want to think through how to send your kids with lunch that's not just a PB&J every day, I got you, girl. I have painstakingly figured out a system that works to get a healthy, nutritious, budget-conscious lunchbox packed for your kids every single day of the school year. And don't worry, we didn't forget breakfast and dinner either, along with tips from our feeding therapist for how to get even the pickiest eaters to try new things. I've got a list of ingredients for your kids to help you choose from. I've got ways to involve your kids, everything you need to get an A+ on lunch packing. Head to www.mylifewithlove.com/ebook to grab yours now and use code podcast to get 15% off. I could talk to you all day, I swear. So I'm like, I probably need to move on, but we're both in the business of empowering moms to find confidence, like a baby step at a time. Can you talk about what it means when you hear the phrase, it takes a village? And I'm like, and Nicki, will you be in my village? Because you're super awesome. And then how can we help other mamas find that community that they need?
Yeah, I think motherhood has been incredible for obviously all of us and challenging for real as different chapters of our life happens. I think more than ever, we're craving human interaction and that connection and those real relationships. I am very outgoing. However, I have learned how to put myself out there even more in uncomfortable situations, like giving my number out to a mom I just met at the park or joining a mom workout group. I am in the health and wellness industry, and I don't know why, but that gives me like severe anxiety to take my kids and do a mommy and me workout. But some of my closest friends have come from that. Joining a book club, we joined a golf club. MOPS has been really great in the local area as well. But also
hold up. Do you golf?
Oh yeah.
Girl, get it. My husband is very into golf. And I'm like, I promise you one day when I retire, I will learn how to play.
It's so funny. I just started doing it because my husband Ty loves it so much. I'm like, okay, if we're going to have a date night, I don't want to just go and have a drink and sit at a restaurant. Like, let's go out and do something.
That's smart.
Like baby steps. I started with like driving the cart. And then I was like, all right, I'll bring out one club. I'll try. But it's also really hard to learn a sport in your 30s. So I just started learning. I didn't grow up with it. I started doing it as soon as we moved out to where we are now. And it's so frustrating for an Enneagram 3 to suck at something. But I have taken lessons and I joined the 9-hole league and the 18-hole league. So I've met some of my like best friends doing some of that. And it doesn't have to be a golf club. It can be a local book club. We meet a lot of people at the library. But one thing that I love, and I know you're in this space too, is connecting virtually with people that you feel like you can relate to. Maybe you won't be quote unquote best friends. Maybe you will. I've met some of my closest friends in this space, but being able to know that you're not alone and unfollowing people or not being friends with people that no longer serve who you're trying to become. And that was a really hard lesson for me. It's not just about who you have in your village, but it's also who you don't.
That's powerful.
That may have not been the best fit for you. And doesn't mean that they weren't at a certain point in your life, but there's people that need to be where you are when you become a mom that maybe don't need to be there anymore. So I think that was like a really hard lesson in my 30s. I was like, okay, I have all these friends, but what I always say, and I've talked about it on my Instagram and my clients know, is I'd rather have 4 quarters than 100 pennies. Meaning I'd rather have 4 solid friends than 100 people that I'm not sure if they have my back, or can I reach out to them, or can I just text them and vent about X, Y, and Z? So having like your circle, I think is really powerful.
Absolutely. And I think that one thing that you're probably going to be able to relate to because of your husband being an 8, and he sounds similar. My COO at My Life Well Loved is actually an 8. So I'm very familiar with that personality type. Shout out to Alyssa. But Alyssa, we always joke that she's like my work wife. And then I have Eric, who's the 5. And both of them are very good at helping rein me in, because as a 3, like, you do tend to be this people pleaser and you want to be friends with everybody. And I had FOMO so bad in the beginning when I was a mom, and still to this day, I think that I struggle with that. And so I've really worked in 2020, 2021, and now into 2022 in making my circle smaller, which is really hard as our personality type. And then also, though, I think it's been so healthy for me, because then I'm like, okay, I don't feel overwhelmed anymore by the amount of people that I feel like I need to check in with each week on Marco Polo or text message or group me or whatever it is. So I think there's so much wisdom in what you just spoke, Nicki, for sure. So, Nicki, if people want to join your next round of Faster Way to Fat Loss or get in your community, how can they find you and what kind of resources do you have for them?
So they can find me. A good place to go is my blog. So NickiEnt is .com. So NICKIENT.com. You can also go to Faster Way to Fat Loss /# Nicki Entenmann. You can find me on Instagram, which is Nicki.Entenmann, and then TikTok, which is Nicki Entenmann. You think I should maybe shorten up my stuff? Now that I'm talking about it, I'm like, basically just Google Nicki Entenmann.
You'll find me.
Find me somewhere.
You will be able to find a place to stalk me. Don't worry about it, guys. She's got it covered on all platforms.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to be on all platforms. It's a lot of work.
You talk about a workout. I'm like, that's a mental workout right there. Tell me what.
Exhausted.
It
Yeah,
is.
I would say I specialize in moms, but I work with clients of all ages. I work with men. I don't care if you're 19 or 91. Everyone can benefit from getting healthy. It's not about weight loss. It's not about deprivation. It's actually about knowledge of changing your life. And I think you can attest to it. Like, it's something so powerful and is so much deeper than skin.
Absolutely. And Nicki and I both are on the same page that we just really want to encourage you guys, like, whether you do sign up for Fast Way to Fat Loss in her next round, or you join my next round, or whatever you do, we are on the same team, and that we want to encourage you to find a healthy place to plug in. And for some of you, you may need a local accountability. You might need to know, like, my first step in taking care of my health today is unfollowing 3 to 5 people that don't make me feel good on Instagram. We just want to encourage you to take that like 1% little further step in your health every day, mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, all of it. And then Nicki, every episode, I want to ask my guests the same ending question. So you're the first one to get it. Yay. And the question is, what is a favorite thing in your health journey that's making you feel like yourself right now? And it can be anything that makes you feel like you.
I feel really confident in who I am. I feel like it's taken me a lot of time. I feel calm and I finally feel settled in the life that I'm creating, the growth I'm having, like personally and professionally. And I'm really proud of my health journeys, of the boundaries that I'm starting to set and the confidence that I have, and then healing that I've done from past diet culture trauma. So it took me a long time to do it, but I know that what I'm doing is what I was meant for. So finding that passion within my own journey and being able to transform lives across the world, it's really something special.
That really is. Well, thank you so much, Nicki, for being here today. It truly was a joy to chat with you. I'm like, you're now in my village, whether you want to be or not. So
yeah.
And of course. So you guys, thanks so much for joining me and Nicki today. And I just look forward to connecting with you guys more on Instagram. If you want to join Nicki or I in our next round of Fast Way to Fat Loss, don't forget that you can go to her website or my website and find it. We just really love you guys. We are so passionate about women and helping you 1% every day and getting to your better health. And make sure you connect with me over on Instagram at Healthy with Heather Brown. And we'll see you next time. If y'all think I'm a little crazy, just wait till my favorite guest joins me in the marriage corner. It's my hubby, Eric. Eric, you are going to be so excited to hear what we get to talk about today. Can you guess what it is?
I have no idea.
Okay, our guest today brought up how she goes golfing with her husband. Golf. Let's talk golf.
Great. Right up my alley.
I know, right? Eric is actually currently dressed to go play golf with some friends, and I'm very excited.
To be fair, that's my typical attire most days.
You make a good point. But you're not wearing your tall black socks or your scrubs, so...
That's true. That's my alternate kind of go-to uniform, if you will.
Very true.
Yeah.
What would you say my usual uniform is?
I'd say what you're wearing right now, some leisure type wear.
Very true.
Yeah.
I love some workout to work from home gear. Love some leggings in the winter and fall.
I could probably deal with a few more heels here and there, but...
I'll save that for date night.
All right.
However, I think that one thing you do have to realize is Nicki was just talking about how she learned to play golf so that she could actually switch up her date nights. So one downfall of me learning how to play golf is I would actually not be in heels as much as you would probably if we did it as a date day.
I don't know. You could play in heels, and that could be like a whole different type of thing.
Oh, gosh. Let's just, wow. Maybe we'll edit that part out. I'm just kidding.
But anyways, I hear what you're saying. And yes, I'm definitely open to the idea of us playing golf together. But I just know we have a little history with trying to play the same sports, or me trying to help you play a sport in the past.
Oh,
do you want me to give my version of that story, or do you want to give your version of that story?
I think that you probably should give your version of that story, and then I will just chip in if that works well for you. Let me give the background first.
Okay.
Is that
fine.
okay?
Yeah.
All right. So background is Eric actually is a really excellent, what would you call it? Like country club sport aficionado.
That doesn't sound the best. It sounds a little silver spoonish, if you will.
I know. I always tell Eric he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
She's not wrong.
It's true. So that means that he is good at swimming. He actually still holds the... Is it city record?
Yeah, so you finally got that right. Usually you go county.
I do. He still holds a city record in Fort Wayne, Indiana, right?
That's true.
For the backstroke?
So it's actually a relay, so it wasn't just me, but backstroke, yes.
Backstroke.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's basically a world champion swimmer you guys are listening to on the podcast in my mind. He's much better at swimming than I am. He's also great at golf and tennis. So Eric, actually, I think he played tennis and golf in high school, and he also coached little kids in tennis. Is this right?
And middle-aged women. Don't forget the middle-aged women.
Oh, right. And they loved him, guys. Middle-aged women love Eric.
This one I was about like 18 and 19 too, so that was an experience.
That's right. He's got those killer blue eyes. He was out on the tennis court pulling his moves. They couldn't resist.
Lots of tips.
Oh, gosh. So anyway, that is the setup. Eric's got a great background, and I'm like, okay, my dad plays tennis, but it's like literally enough to get by, and that is my experience with tennis pretty much. So I'm like, Eric, you should teach me how to play tennis. This will be fun.
Yeah, and at first I thought, oh yeah, this is when we were first kind of dating, young in our relationship, and I was like, this is great. We get to spend more time together. We get to share a hobby that we can maybe both enjoy, good exercise, getting out there on the courts. So I was like, yeah, we'll do that. I had my hopper full of tennis balls. I even bought Heather a new tennis racket, a nice pink tennis bag that I thought she would like. And we get out there on the court and we start playing, and I start teaching her kind of the way that I was taught tennis, which was a lot of, I had great coaches, but sometimes it was a little bit more like negative reinforcement. It was a lot of running. You hit a lot of balls. It's a lot of repetition. And that did not quite work out as well as I'd hoped with Heather. I learned out very quickly that you cannot coach your girlfriend, significant other, the same way that you were coached as a student-coach relationship. So
at the age of what? Probably 6, 7.
I think after about 30 minutes on the tennis court, you were crying. And I knew at that point I had to kind of change. I think you were like, Eric, you can't teach me the way you were taught.
Something like that,
Something like
yes.
that. And I was like, it's probably a fair point. You're drenched in sweat.
And I was so excited about looking so cute in my little tennis outfit, too, and my bag. I was like, this is going to be so fun. We're going to hit around a couple times and go get some food or drinks after.
Yeah. So all that to say, I'm open to the idea of playing golf together, but I think we both need to change our mindset on how that might work. Also, too, I had to teach you a lot of, not really teach you, we discussed, I don't like the term teach, but discuss a lot of the rules of tennis before we started playing tennis. So I thought it might be a fun idea to maybe give you a little golf quiz so that we can learn together And I want to see what your baseline is for golf trivia right now.
Ooh, yes.
That
That sounds like
good?
a great idea. Maybe the audience will learn something today, too, so they can impress their husbands at home.
Yeah, we'll see. So, ladies, listen up and take some notes, throw around some of these terms, and impress your husbands.
That's right.
So, we start off easy, but can you tell me what it is called when you get on a golf hole, you get the number of strokes that you are supposed to get the ball in the hole?
Thank you for the easy layup. I know this one. It's called par.
That is correct.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding. Got it. All right. All right. So a little bit more difficult. What if you get one less than what is required on a golf hole? What is that called?
So I know that there's a lot of birds names involved in golf, and so I'm not sure which way to go. Is it eagle?
Eaglet, yes. One under par, the eaglet. No. One under is a birdie, just a birdie. So you were close. You almost had that.
I did.
But what is two less than what you're supposed to get on the hole? So you just said it.
Oh, eagle must be two less.
That's right.
Okay,
All
got
right,
it.
And finally, just the last of the basic questions maybe. What is, if you get one over the required strokes on a hole, what is that called?
So that's bad because you went one over.
So let's say it's a par 4 and it took you 5 strokes to get in the hole.
I really, I don't have the answer for this one. I'm going to go with, oh, is it bogey?
That is it.
Shut up! Where did I pull that out of? Wow.
Impressive.
That just shows that you watch and or play a lot of golf, that these terms have somehow just soaked in my brain. I don't even realize it.
That must be it. And all right, I was trying to think of a few. Okay, so another question real quick. You're on the golf course and you hit it into the sand. What is that called?
Sand trap.
Yes, that is one of these synonyms associated with the sand. So you can say sand trap or bunker. But the reason why I asked that was because very early on, we were, I think, either playing golf or you were on the golf course or watching golf, and you saw a player hit it into the bunker, and you asked me, I can't remember exactly how it was, but I'm pretty sure, what is up with the sand pits?
That is true.
So the nerd in me, I immediately think of the sand pits associated with Star Wars. But anyways, that's a deep dive reference. But anyways.
Oh, I did not know that was a Star Wars reference.
Or sand trap are your two most common terms for the sand on the golf course.
Are you proud of yourself for how far I've come?
With
my golf knowledge.
We are starting at a nice baseline, so I'm a little bit more encouraged about possibly doing this golf together. All right, and then finally, I always like to ask my sister, I used to like to ask her if she knew any common NBA players or NFL players, and I just always found her interesting, her responses. So I'm going to ask you this about golf. Can you name 5 professional golfers?
Ooh, 5. That's kind of a lot. Okay. Is Tiger Woods, does that count if they played in the past?
Oh, he's still playing, so yeah, that's...
Oh, he does still play. That's right. I forgot.
Got the easy one out first. All right.
Okay, Tiger Woods. There is Rory McIlroy.
Wow, nice.
He wears colorful clothes, right?
Yes, he sometimes wears colorful clothes.
Okay, and he does like crazy hair, like that. I feel like he stands
got
out.
Big curly hair. Well, he used to, but it's a little bit more close. But yeah, Rory McIlroy, that's nice. Very good, yeah.
Okay, and then we've got Phil Mickelson.
Yes.
I feel like every female I've got that one in the bag.
Yeah, a little bit older, getting a little bit older. So that's 3.
3, okay. Ooh, here it gets difficult. Oh, there's one that's called like the gopher or the raisin. What is this? The rat. The mole rat.
Oh, wow. This is a real deep dive.
Hang on. What is his name?
So Heather had me talking about, but there's one professional golfer. He's ranked probably 300 in the world.
Oh, wow.
But he's from Thailand.
Okay.
And his name is Kiradek Afi Barnrat.
Yeah, I was never going to get the full name, but
and his nickname is the Barn Rat. So, wow, I was not thinking you were going to come up with Afi Barnrat.
Yeah, you give me some animals and I can remember something about it. So that's 4, right?
That's 4, yeah, just one more.
Wow, just one more. I feel like there's some obvious ones that I know, but I can't.
So I'm going to help you out with this last one.
Okay.
So I know sometimes you tend to follow more Real Housewives, kind of that situation, but Wayne Gretzky, the hockey player, I know hockey.
Yes.
His daughter, number 99, his daughter is, I believe, now married to a golfer. Do you know which golfer that is? I thought maybe you'd heard Paulina Gretzky and...
Definitely not. I cannot pull this one out. I'm so sorry.
All right.
I know that she is dating a golfer, was. Now she's married to him?
I believe they're married now, but I could be wrong. But Dustin Johnson is his name.
Oh,
so,
DJ.
I'm trying to think of any other like celebrity type golfers that maybe you'd be aware of.
So tell the women in the audience so they can have a good reference. What are the top 5 golfers in the world right now that I probably should have been like, oh, obviously. Oh, Arnold Palmer. Can that count as I got...
So Arnold Palmer, one of my favorite golfers of all time, passed away about, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. But yes, he is great. That was a very good poll. And also a great drink.
Yeah, Eric loves the Arnold Palmer drink.
Lemonade and iced tea.
He got it last night at Jim and Nick's, actually.
Now, have you ever heard of the drink John Daly?
You had the vodka, right?
That's it.
The vodka?
So John Daly was always a rebel when he came out. But anyways, long story short, very impressed with your golf knowledge. I am encouraged, and I think we can have some fun. And I do think that's one of the things that we enjoy. We always try and come up with different things to do together and try different things out.
For sure.
Yeah, hopefully we can start down that road.
Now, if you do what Nikki's husband did with her and start me out just going on the golf cart to watch you and having some drinks and enjoying sunset, I'm all about that kind of date life. So we can start there and then we'll see how it goes.
Oh, man, that sounds great.
Yeah, love it. Okay, Eric, thanks for joining me on another episode. Always great to have you here. And y'all go impress your husbands with some awesome golf knowledge now. Let's go. Woo woo. Hey, if you're loving the show, click that follow button on your podcast app. This will ensure you won't miss a single episode. I'll see you next time.